Congressman Darrell Issa, who serves on both the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees, was there for Comey's testimony yesterday and joins me now. Congressman, what struck you in that room yesterday with Comey pontificating to you guys?
Well, I guess unless he's got early onset of Alzheimer's, there's no way you can write two things. Either he wasn't doing his job and he just didn't pay any attention, or he just perjured himself about all the things he didn't know or didn't remember. And by the way, saying you don't remember when you do, or saying you didn't know when you do, is in fact perjury. And that's what I think is really in the long run going to be recognized about him, is that he did a lie of amnesia rather than in fact simply not telling us the truth.
But you know, Congressman, as you leave Congress, you know, this is the last few weeks that you've got. I don't know if you heard me with Congressman Jim Jordan, but I have to tell you, I am embarrassed. I am furious. I am frustrated. The American people have had it. You guys were in power, and it's not on you, because I've seen you in oversight and government reform. I've seen you go after people. What can the American people expect going forward? Will the Clintons ever pay for what they did, which was the real Russia collusion? Will we ever find out who did the unmasking of people like Michael Flynn? Will anyone like Samantha Power and the rest of them be held accountable? What do we have to look forward to?
Well, if people will recognize that some people in Congress did their job and they were thwarted often by the leadership that wanted to maintain their majority, that majority being gone now, then they won't do it again. They'll realize that standing on principle and doing the right thing may or may not cost you the majority, but playing this sort of prevent defense, to use a football term, will inevitably lead to your losing the majority without getting the job done. Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, and others have been fighters for the last 2 years, but they've fought with some hands tied behind their back.
Okay, so let's talk about Paul Ryan. I mean, how did it advantage Paul Ryan to not allow you guys to bring contempt charges, to do this earlier? I mean, was he working against the president?
No, he wasn't working against the president. But again, you know, he announced that he was leaving about a year ago. So he's been a lame duck for quite a while. And quite frankly, Chairman Goodlatte, although he's a good man, I don't think he saw the reality that you have to do everything immediately because the other side is running out the clock on you. When he finally started going after Comey managed to delay this for weeks and weeks. And this is the frustration, is you have to start quickly, because the FBI, the Department of Justice, institutionally knows how to slow you down.
Well, you know, I got to go back to, I mean, I don't care if Paul Ryan's a lame duck, and I don't care if Goodlatte's a nice guy. Joe Blow watching this show tonight knows that you guys got to get in there and fight. You had the power, and you didn't benefit us by it. It was a game where we kept getting punched in the gut by people who were laughing at us, saying one thing and saying it didn't mean what they were saying, like Peter Strzok. Jim Comey getting out there and saying, oh, no, you know, we have to reopen this investigation, which was nonsense. The Feds in the Southern District forced him to do it, and the NYPD on the Clinton email. There's so much I could go through, so much my viewers know.
But I'll tell you, Judge, because you said I have nothing to lose, I can say what I believe. Let me tell you something that you do need to make sure your viewers understand. Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, and a team of people who made sure that these hearings, Trey Gowdy, made sure that there were hearings 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and last year, in fact, are the reason that Hillary Clinton isn't president and Donald Trump is. If Hillary Clinton had gotten away with it in front of the voters, the fact is she'd be president today. So I want to commend the people I served with who fought against leadership that always wanted to say don't make waves, fought against and made sure the American people, when they went to the polls and voted for and elected Donald Trump, understood they had a choice of a man who was going to do what he said, or a woman who lied about everything she ever did.
Well, Congressman Darrell Issa, I must tell you that, my viewers, that I personally am sad that you're leaving. I think you've done a great job. I don't know if anybody congratulates you in the end or if you even get a watch that says congratulations. But we thank you for your service to this country. We thank you for being honest and for doing what you did. Thanks so much for being with us, Congressman.
Keep fighting.
Oh, no worries.